In this tutorial, we're going to look at making holes. So let's say I want to cut a hole on the top of both of these objects. So I'm going to show you two methods. I'm sure there probably is more, but I'll show you two methods that I use. The first one utilizes the multi-cut and under Edit Mesh, this circularize tool. Okay, so basically I want to cut some edges across vertically and horizontally on this face. So I'm going to use the Make Cut tool, the multi-cut tool, and I'll hold the Shift key down to lock it so I go straight across. So this will do it in 50% increments. So I'll click it here and here, and then Enter. And then I'll do one across at the bottom here and here, and Enter. Then I'll do it vertically, and one more, say here. Okay. So that just used the multi-cut to cut these four edges. So now I want to place this, say, in the middle where I want it. So I'm going to select this top face, and I'll select the Move tool, and I'm just going to slide it, really. So I'm going to not move it in the Y. I don't want to do that. I'm going to try to move it in the X and the Z, and I can do kind of both, like that. That looks about centered. I can even scale it. Let's say I want to make it a little bit larger so it's more square. Now I can either leave these edges kind of at an angle, or I can do this. I can select the vertices, tap my space bar, go over to put my mouse over the top view, tap my space bar. Now I'm looking at it without any perspective, and I can select these two, and I can just line these up, and then line these two up. And then I can select these two vertices, and I can line them up with this, and these two vertices, and I can line them up with this. If I get close, like I am here, and I want to be certain that all of these are totally aligned in all directions, I can select all four of them, select the Scale tool, and I can scale to the middle there. So I can select all four of these, and I'll scale to the middle. I'll select all four of these, and I'll scale to the middle. And then I'll select all four of these, and I'll scale to the middle. So now I'm going to tap my space bar. I'm going to go back to my, tap my space bar, go back to my perspective view, press F8 to get back into object, and then F11 to get into face. So if I don't have this face selected, then I'll select it. Then I'll go up here to Edit Mesh, Circularize. So we looked at this tool earlier. Really the only thing I'm really interested in right now is Add Divisions. So I'm just going to click on Add Divisions with the left mouse button, and I'm going to drag till I have a nice round circle. And then I'll press Q or choose the selection arrow to end the tool. So now I want to make the hole, so I'm just going to press the Delete key. Now I can't press the Delete key because I'm recording, and it will stop my recording if I do that. But just if I press just your Delete button here, I can remove or make a hole. Instead of that, I can also cut that face. So I'll do that. Actually, let me undo. I could maybe delete from here. There we go. And that deletes. So that's my hole using the circularize method. I'm going to use the MakeHole method now to make a hole, the same kind of hole in this box. So I need to create a disc that's the size of my hole. Now the disc tool here, this disc tool, gives like this weird interior edges. I want just one face to make this. I don't want all of these subdivisions here. So I don't use the disc, unfortunately. It's not as useful as I would hope. Instead, I'm going to use the cylinder, and I'm going to make a cylinder. And then I'm going to go over to my cylinder inputs, and I'm going to find subdivision caps, and I'm going to make that 0. Enter. So now I have the top just the way I want it, just one round disc face. Not subdivided like this, but just nice and round and one polygon. So I need to separate out. I need to extract this face from the rest of it. I don't want the rest of it. So I'm going to select that top face, or the bottom one for that matter. It doesn't matter. I'm going to select the top, and I'm going to go to Edit Mesh, and I'm going to extract. So that makes two objects, the one with the face I selected and then the remainder. So I'm going to select my selection arrow, click with nothing so I get no selection. I'm going to select the bottom here. Well, I'm in face mode right now, as you can see, so I'll press F8. So I want to press the bottom of the cylinder, and then I'll delete the bottom of the cylinder. So all I'm left is is my disc. If I go to the Move tool, my pivot point's down here. If that bothers you, you can come up to the center pivot icon or modify center pivot. It's a little center pivot icon, and it just centers your pivot in that disc. It's not a totally necessary step, but it may be something that you want to do. So now I'm going to move this disc kind of, and I'll usually keep it a little bit above where it should be. And I'm just going to place it, say that's about where I'm going to make it in the center. Like I said, I'm just a little bit above. We're going to fix that once we make the hole. So now I have two objects. I have the disc and the box. I'm going to combine the two. It doesn't matter which you select, which order you select. It doesn't matter. But I'm going to select both the disc and the box and go to Mesh Combine. It's another one object. And that's really important. I have to have one object. So now I can go to Mesh Tools. My object selected. I can go to Mesh Tools, and I'm going to make hole. So I can make as many holes. If I had other discs in here, I could make all the holes. But I always begin by choosing the outer part of my hole and then the inner part or parts. If I have another disc, I would click on that. Another disc, I could click on that. When I've clicked on all the discs, all the holes that I want to make, I press the Enter key and I have my hole. Now, it's not exactly flat, so I'm going to right click and I'll select all these edges by double clicking on any of the single edge. So these are all connected to each other, so if I double click, it'll select all of them, my edge loop. Really, I want to select the vertices, so I'll press Control F9, and now I have all the vertices selected for that object. I'm going to press my space bar, and I'm going to go into either the front or the side view. It really doesn't matter. So I'll mouse over the front view, tap my space bar. You can see that I'm got my selected hole. The vertices are a little high, so I'm going to press F on the keyboard. F for Frank, and that's my all my selected verts on the hole. I'm going to select the Move tool, and with the Y direction, I'm just going to click and drag down till I'm at that level. If I want to again be certain that I'm exactly flat, I'll click outside to select nothing. I'll click and drag across the top of the object box. I'll go to the Scale tool and I'll choose the Y direction scale and just drag to the middle. And that ensures that all of the vertices are aligned. I'll tap my space bar, I'll go back to the perspective view, tap my space bar, and I'll press F9, or F8 rather, to get back into object mode. I had to press it twice because I had some selected vertices. So you can see that I have pretty much the same effect. The difference is, one, how I made it, and the fact that I have some connecting edges by using this version that I don't have over here. So there's not a lot of difference between whether I make this using the multi-cut and circularize method or whether I use the MakeHole method. I pretty much get the same or similar results.